Order!
Order? I'll take a ham sandwich.
Hold thy tongue!
Not tongue, ham.
When Curly Howard, the beloved member of the Three Stooges, passed away, friends, family, and fans gathered to say goodbye. But no one expected one guest to show up that day. Who could have crashed the burial of one of Hollywood's most beloved comedians? Join us as we uncover the shocking guest at Curly Howard's funeral, which left everyone stunned. The shocking guest at Curly Howard's funeral that no one could believe. Curly Howard, the famous comedian from the Three Stooges, had a happy life on camera, but encountered many difficulties off-screen. His real name was Jerome Lester Horwitz, and he was the most popular member of the Stooges thanks to his lively personality, hilarious noises, and lasting charisma. However, his rise to fame had its consequences. His wild lifestyle eventually took a toll on his health, causing major issues and personal struggles. In the 1940s, Curly's health started getting worse. His energetic performances started to slow down, causing concern among those close to him. Curly's brother, Mo, thought that getting married might help Curly calm down and find some stability. Mo suggested that Curly look for a partner who could bring peace and comfort into his life. Curly's hope for a better future led him to meet Marion Buxbaum, who was introduced to him by a relative of a theater manager. They only knew each other for 2 weeks before getting married on October 17, 1945. The quick romance was full of optimism for a better life. Marion also brought her 10-year-old son from a previous marriage, making Curly an instant stepfather. Unfortunately, the marriage did not help Curly feel better. Their relationship became tense, and the media attention made things even more difficult. The divorce became a public event, with the media reporting on every small detail and making Curly's mental state worse. The stress, along with his existing health issues, caused Curly to become very sick. In July 1946, only 9 months after getting married, the divorce was officially completed. Just 2 months later, Curly had a serious stroke that put an end to his career. Despite facing health problems, Curly experienced love once more when he tied the knot with Valerie Newman in 1947. The couple welcomed a daughter named Janie in 1948. Valerie stood by Curly until the end, giving him the affection and support he had always wanted. Curly passed away prematurely, but he left behind a lasting legacy of joy and laughter. When Curly passed away, his loved ones and admirers came together to pay their final respects to the man who brought so much laughter to the world. The funeral was supposed to be a somber event where people reminisced about the happy moments, but no one could anticipate the surprise that was in store for them during the ceremony. One surprising mourner at the funeral was Marion Buxbaum, who many thought would not attend due to her past with the deceased. Despite their painful divorce and public issues, she chose to pay her respects to the man she once loved. Their relationship may have ended sadly, but she showed up to say her goodbyes. Everyone was shocked when she arrived. Some people were whispering in surprise, while others just stood quietly watching. Marion's arrival triggered a mix of happy and sad memories about Curly's challenges while they were together. It served as a reminder that, beneath his joking and silliness, Curly truly desired love and companionship, despite having difficulty finding it at times. Marion showing up at the funeral made the day feel both sad and sweet. It seemed like she was there to not only say goodbye to Curly, but also to remember the dreams they once had together. For Curly's loved ones, it was a painful reminder of how life can be unpredictable and how old connections can still matter deeply. Curly Howard's funeral was supposed to honor his comedy-filled life, but Marion's surprise appearance added more significance to the event. She demonstrated that Curly had impacted many individuals in meaningful ways beyond making them laugh. At that moment, as people shed tears and shared memories, everyone bid farewell to not just a talented comedian, but a man who had experienced love, heartbreak, and ongoing affection until the end. Despite his sad death, his legacy and the laughter he brought to the world remains. Let's dive into the early years and rise of this iconic star. Curly Howard's early years and challenges. Curly Howard, whose real name was Jerome Lester Horwitz, was born on October 22, 1903, in Brooklyn, New York. He was the youngest among 5 sons of Jenny and Solomon Horwitz, who were of Lithuanian Jewish descent. As the youngest in the family, Curly was the favorite and was given the nickname Babe by his brothers, which stuck with him throughout his childhood. However, changes were necessary as time passed by. When Jerome's older brother Shemp got married to a woman named Gertrude Frank, also known as Babe, the family decided to give Jerome a new nickname to avoid mix-ups. This is when they started calling him Curly, a name that stuck with him forever and became famous worldwide. Curly had a calm and quiet childhood compared to his troublemaking brothers. He was well liked by his family, but often overlooked in favor of his older, more adventurous siblings, Mo and Shemp. Curly did not excel in school and was just an average student who did not enjoy being in the classroom. However, he loved playing sports, especially basketball, and was good at it because he was naturally athletic. Even though he was talented, he never ended up finishing high school. Instead, he bounced around different small jobs and mostly hung out with his older brothers, who he looked up to a lot. Curly discovered his passion for performing at a young age. Despite being naturally reserved, he had a remarkable ability for singing and ballroom dancing. He frequented the Triangle Ballroom in Queens, impressing others with his elegant dance skills. Sometimes he had the chance to meet upcoming celebrities like George Raft, giving him a taste of the entertainment industry he would eventually become a part of. When Curly was 13 years old, he had an accident that changed his life. While he was cleaning a rifle, he accidentally fired himself in the left ankle. His brother Mo quickly took him to the hospital, preventing a serious situation. Although Curly survived, the injury made his left leg thinner and gave him a slight limp. He was afraid of surgery, so he never fixed the problem. Instead of letting it hold him back, he found creative ways to work around it. Eventually, when he performed with the Stooges on stage, he developed a funny walk that not only hid his limp, but also became one of his iconic comedic moves. Since he was young, Curly was fascinated by the excitement of performing on stage. He would spend a lot of time backstage watching his brothers, Mo and Shemp, in Ted Healy's vaudeville act. Although he did not participate in the shows, he paid close attention to the humor, timing, and movements that made audiences laugh. His desire to join his brothers on stage was slowly developing, even though he hadn't expressed it yet. So, how did he become popular on TV during those years? The rise to fame, becoming a stooge. In 1928, Howard's first experience on stage was as a comic musical conductor for the Orville Knapp Orchestra. His performance was a success. He energetically led the band with dramatic arm movements, not realizing his pants were falling down. The audience found it entertaining. Mo remembered how Howard's comedic routine sometimes overshadowed the music itself. Howard loved making people laugh, but he felt envious watching his brothers Mo and Shemp, as well as their friend Larry Fine, become successful with Ted Healy. Healy was a famous vaudeville performer, known for being interrupted by his silly stooges on stage, which made the audience laugh. Their act became popular fast, and they appeared in their first movie, Soup to Nuts, in 1930. However, there was tension behind the scenes. Shemp Howard was fed up with Healy's challenging behavior, which included his drinking and quick temper. In 1932, Shemp took a chance to work with Vitaphone Studios in Brooklyn, which left an opening in Healy's act. Mo recommended his younger brother Jerry as a replacement. Jerry, who was still doing his routine from the Knapp Orchestra days, tried out for Healy. However, Healy was not impressed. He thought Jerry seemed too polished and good-looking to be a comedian. With great determination, Howard exited the room and returned with his head shaved clean, leaving only his mustache for a brief period. His change in appearance was successful. Mo and Larry spontaneously acted out scenes with Jerry's updated look, and Healy was impressed. Jerry Horwitz was officially known as Curly Howard, starting a fresh phase in his life. In 1934, MGM made the decision to help Healy become a successful solo star. Mo recognized the need for a new strategy, because only Healy had a contract with MGM, and the Stooges were working for him for just $100 a week. Mo suggested they part ways and start fresh. Healy agreed, and they went their separate ways. In that year, Moe, Larry, and Curly changed their names to the Three Stooges and got a contract with Columbia Pictures. They began creating short comedy films. Their third film, Men in Black, was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Short Subject. Even though they did not win, it solidified their reputation as comedic stars. Columbia paid them $2,500 each for every short film, a significant increase from their previous earnings. Curly's fun and energetic personality won over audiences, especially kids. He was known for his ability to withstand hits to the head without injury, making the objects break instead. Despite not having formal acting lessons, his natural talent and timing made him stand out on screen. Directors would often keep the cameras running in order to capture Curly's natural talent in action. Jules White, a frequent director of the Stooges short films, would intentionally leave some parts of the script blank, confident that Curly would come up with funny jokes to fill them in. His spontaneous additions brought energy to each scene. In the late 1930s, the Stooges were very popular, and Curly played a big role in their success. His creativity and skill at making everyday objects funny were highlighted in many of their best-loved films, such as A Plumbing We Will Go and We Want Our Mummy. Movies like An Ache in Every Steak, Cactus Makes Perfect, and They Stooge to Conga also showed off his unique artistic flair. Curly would think fast on his feet and come up with funny actions or distractions when he couldn't remember his lines, which helped keep the scenes entertaining and smooth. Over time, Curly created specific sounds, gestures, and facial expressions that were known as his signature style. Fans adored his infectious laugh, the well-known "nyuk, nyuk, nyuk," and the energetic "woo, woo, woo" he used when feeling happy or frightened. His comical noises like "huff, huff, huff" and "ah, ba, 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 ba" added to his appeal. His playful yelps, dramatic gasps, and cheerful singing made each moment memorable. During a scene, he would hit his head on a wall to get inspiration, then shout, "I got it!" When asked what he got, he would joke, "A terrific headache," always keeping the humor alive. Curly may have had a funny way of speaking and would often mispronounce words, but he had a talent for spelling difficult words when asked. Unfortunately, when there was a crucial moment where his spelling skills could have come in handy, he would often miss the opportunity, resulting in humorous scoldings from Moe. Moe Howard thought Lou Costello was copying Curly's comedy routines. Costello, a good friend of Shemp, sometimes watched the Stooges movies. Columbia Pictures did not allow the Stooges to make full-length movies like other famous comedy teams, which limited their success. Curly was the only one of the Three Stooges who did not have his solo films. Shemp, Joe Besser, and Joe DeRita all had careers apart from the Stooges. Curly's fame was mainly because of his work with the Stooges. Despite his funny performance and personality, Howard had a very complicated personal life. This was aside from the other struggles he faced off-screen. The struggles behind the laughter. In 1944, Curly Howard's energetic performances began to slow down, and his voice became deeper. Movies like Idle Rumors and Booby Doops showed a less sharp Curly. It was believed that Curly had a stroke between filming Idiots Deluxe in October 1944 and If a Body Meets a Body in March 1945. After finishing filming Rockin' in the Rockies in December 1944, Curly's brother Moe convinced him to see a doctor. Curly was hospitalized in January 1945 with severe hypertension, bleeding in his eyes, and obesity. He needed time to recover, so only 5 short films were released that year, instead of the usual 6 to 8. Moe asked Harry Cohn, who ran Columbia Pictures, to let Curly have more time off, but Cohn did not want to delay production of the popular Three Stooges movies. The group had a 5-month break from August 1945 to January 1946, but it wasn't truly a break. They spent 2 months doing live shows every day in New York City. During this time, Curly met Marion Buxbaum. They got married on October 17, 1945, just 2 weeks after meeting each other. When Curly returned to Los Angeles in late November 1945, he was in even worse health than before. Despite taking some time off to rest, filming for Columbia resumed in late January 1946. Over the span of February to early May, they only filmed for 24 days. Despite having an additional 8 weeks of rest during this period, Curly's health continued to deteriorate. By the beginning of 1946, Curly's voice had become rough and harsh. Remembering even basic lines was difficult for him. His face appeared older with deep lines, and he had lost a significant amount of weight. The cheerful and funny Curly that fans loved was gradually fading away. Away from the spotlight, Curly had a completely different personality compared to the crazy character he portrayed. In reality, he was quiet and preferred to be alone. He only enjoyed socializing when he was drinking. As the pressures of his career increased, his drinking habits intensified. He usually only seemed lively when he was with his family, performing on stage, or after drinking excessively. Despite this, Curly was famous for his compassion, particularly for stray dogs. He would regularly take care of and give homes to them. Curly was married 4 times and had 2 daughters in his lifetime. His first marriage was to Julia Rosenthal on August 5, 1930, but they divorced on January 6, 1931, before he found fame with the Three Stooges. Curly then married Elaine Ackerman on June 7, 1937, 12 years after Moe got married. They had a daughter named Marilyn in 1938, but their marriage ended in June 1940. After the divorce, Curly's health began to decline as he gained weight and developed high blood pressure. Curly felt self-conscious about being bald. He believed it made him less appealing to women. These thoughts led him to drink more and act out in social situations. He frequently wore a hat in public to cover up his lack of hair because he thought it made him seem immature. Even though he was insecure, he still attracted many women. Sadly, a lot of them exploited his kind and trusting personality. Curly frequently found himself being deceived by both women and real estate agents. When a beautiful woman would charm him, he would quickly fall in love and sometimes even marry, without considering the consequences. Some of these women would then take advantage of him financially and then leave. The same pattern would occur with houses. If someone mentioned a new home to him, he would sell his current one and purchase the new one without much consideration. During World War II, filming for the Three Stooges stopped for 7 months each year. During these breaks, the group entertained soldiers live, boosting their morale. Curly would often go out to nightclubs after performances to unwind, despite abstaining from drinking during shows at Moe's insistence. His extravagant spending included splurging on food, drinks, women, and real estate, leaving him almost penniless at times. Moe took on the responsibility of looking after Curly, overseeing his finances, and even handling his tax filings. Curly found happiness in his love for dogs, especially during difficult times. While traveling with the Stooges, he would frequently rescue stray dogs and care for them until he could find them new homes. At his home, he had multiple pet dogs that were a significant part of his life and brought him joy. Moe thought getting married would help Curly find stability in his life. During a trip to New York City, Curly met a woman named Marion Buxbaum. They quickly got married after knowing each other for only 2 weeks on October 17, 1945. Unfortunately, their marriage only lasted for 9 months. The divorce was messy and filled with public arguments, which were exaggerated by the media. The breakup further worsened Curly's already fragile health. The divorce was officially completed in July 1946, just 2 months after Curly had a stroke that led to the end of his career. Curly's last marriage was to Valerie Newman, and they tied the knot on July 31, 1947. This marriage made Curly happy, and in 1948, they had a daughter named Janie. Valerie was with Curly until he passed away, providing him with the stability and care he had been lacking for a long time. Decline and final days of Curly Howard. Curly Howard's time as a full member of the Three Stooges was ending in 1946. His final official performance with the group was in Half-Wit's Holiday on May 6, 1946. While waiting for his last scene during filming, Curly suffered a major stroke. He was sitting in director Jules White's chair when he suddenly became unresponsive. The assistant director called out to him, but Curly did not respond. Mo Howard noticed his brother was missing and went to find him, only to discover Curly slumped over, unable to speak and only able to cry. His mouth was twisted, and the situation was serious. Mo quickly got the director's attention, and the scene was changed so Mo and Larry Fine could finish without Curly. Curly was taken to the hospital for immediate treatment. Mo went to the hospital to be with Curly once filming was over. After having a stroke, Curly spent a few weeks recovering at the Motion Picture Country House in Woodland Hills. Even though he went back home eventually, it was evident that he would never fully recover. In the beginning of 1946, Shemp Howard, another Howard brother, had been stepping in for Curly during live performances in New Orleans. When Curly had the stroke, Shemp agreed to officially take Curly's place in the group. A contract signed in 1947 by Mo, Larry, Shemp, and Curly stated that Shemp's role was only temporary until Curly got better and could come back full-time. Unfortunately, Curly's health did not improve enough for him to return, so Shemp permanently stayed on as his replacement. Despite facing health issues, Curly had a heartwarming return. In January 1947, he went to the set of Hold That Lion, the third movie after Shemp came back. While there, Curly was asked to make a brief appearance. He had grown his hair back and showed a glimpse of his old self as he played a train passenger snoring loudly. This was a special moment because it was the only movie where Mo, Shemp, Larry, and Curly were all together, even if it was just for a short time. It was a delightful surprise for everyone, and a small reminder of the joy Curly used to bring to his fans. In 1948, Curly tried to make a brief appearance in a movie called Malice in the Palace, playing the role of a grumpy chef. However, due to his illness affecting his performance, his scenes were cut from the final film despite being pictured on a lobby card with the rest of the Stooges. In the midst of tough times, something positive occurred in Curly's life when he met Valerie Newman. She provided him with steadfast love and encouragement, eventually becoming his wife on July 31, 1947. Valerie continued to support Curly as his health declined, always offering him the care and affection he required. Their daughter, Janie, was born in 1948, bringing joy to Curly during a particularly difficult period. Curly's health kept getting worse. In 1948, he had another serious stroke. The second stroke made him partially paralyzed, and by 1950, he had to use a wheelchair. To try to help him lose weight and lower his blood pressure, his doctors put him on a special diet of boiled rice and apples. Valerie realized he needed continuous medical care, and so she admitted him into the Motion Picture and Television Fund's Country House and Hospital on August 29, 1950. After being there for a few months for treatment and tests, Curly was able to leave, but he still needed to come back for more care regularly. Curly's health got worse at the beginning of 1951. He went to a nursing home in February and had another stroke a month later. In April, he was transferred to North Hollywood Hospital and Sanitarium, where he continued to fight his declining health. During his last years, Curly displayed great courage. Despite being physically frail and encountering various difficulties, he maintained a calm and kind demeanor. With Valerie's assistance and the arrival of his daughter, he found moments of happiness despite his declining health. In the past, Curly's life was characterized by laughter, quick wit, and boundless vitality. But in his final days, he revealed a different aspect of himself, a person who battled with illness courageously and relied on the power of love and family to persevere. Sadly, after a lot of fighting, he passed on. Curly's sad ending and legacy. In December 1951, Curly Howard's health was getting worse. The staff at the hospital where he was staying told the Howard family that Curly's mental state was deteriorating, and he was becoming too difficult for the nurses to handle. They suggested moving him to a mental hospital for specialized care. But Mo Howard did not want Curly to be in an unfamiliar place. So, he decided to move Curly to a quieter place called Baldy View Sanitarium in San Gabriel, California. Just a short time later, on January 7, 1952, Moe was on set at Columbia Pictures working on a film called He Cooked His Goose when he got a sudden call. His family needed his assistance to relocate Curly one last time. Unfortunately, they arrived too late as Curly was in poor health and his condition was deteriorating rapidly. Just 11 days after the call, on January 18, 1952, Curly Howard passed away peacefully at the age of 48, becoming the youngest of the Stooges to pass away. The death was a significant loss for both his family and his supporters. His funeral was meticulously organized with love and adherence to his Jewish customs. Curly was buried at the Home of Peace Cemetery in the Western Jewish Institute section in East Los Angeles, California. His brothers, Shemp and Benjamin, were later buried close by next to their parents, Jenny and Solomon. This cemetery served as a peaceful resting place where the family could be reunited even in death. Family and close friends took care of organizing the funeral to pay tribute to a man who brought joy to many. The service was emotional, with both tears and fond memories. People from the entertainment industry, fellow comedians, and colleagues of Curly gathered to pay their respects. They shared stories of his kindness, humor, and the uplifting presence he had. Although there was sadness, the memories of Curly's life brought comfort to those who cared for him. Throughout his time as a performer, Curly Howard had a way of connecting with audiences on a deep level. Fans loved him for his funny and crazy behavior, as well as the genuine warmth and innocence he displayed on screen. Critics admired his natural talent without the need for any formal training. Everything he did felt authentic because it came from the heart. Larry Fine, who had worked closely with Curly for many years, once mentioned that Curly was a unique comedian who could effortlessly create laughter without relying on a script or a plan. The Three Stooges felt a deep sense of loss when Curly passed away, as if a part of their essence had disappeared. After Curly passed away, his unusual way of acting and happy attitude still made people laugh. His funny expressions, silly noises, and boundless enthusiasm became popular in America. Both kids and grown-ups enjoyed watching him, and his famous sayings were remembered in households all over the country. Curly did not just act. He truly lived in the moment on screen, with a genuine excitement that made viewers feel connected to him. Several celebrities admired him. A famous TV host, Steve Allen, stated that Curly was a rare comedy genius, despite not always receiving proper recognition. His comedy went beyond physical humor. It was spontaneous and heartfelt. It did not require refinement or practice. Authors Ted Okuda and Edward Watts analyzed Curly's performances in their book, The Columbia Comedy Shorts. They noted that Curly's charm came from his genuine, unrestrained happiness in every scene. He approached each moment with a childlike playfulness, expressing his emotions freely without hesitation. Whether he was laughing at his antics or facing a challenge head-on, Curly's sincerity shone through, making him memorable and resonating with viewers on a profound level. Curly's impact was felt long after he was gone. Comedians in the future passed away his performances, paying attention to his physical movements and how he could make people laugh without saying much. His style of using actions to convey humor, rather than relying on words, became a guide for others in the same field. Whether he was doing a funny dance, acting surprised, or engaging in a playful chase, Curly showed that comedy is all about emotions, physicality, and passion. Even after many years since he passed away, Curly Howard's legacy continues to thrive. He remains popular among both longtime fans and new audiences who are discovering his work. Every chuckle, every comedic mishap, and every happy scene evokes memories of a man who dedicated himself to spreading joy. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and also click the next video shown on your screen.